What's going on, guys? Welcome to Market English with Abby today with Jerome. Who's Jerome? Who's Jerome? ፈረንጆች ስፓይደርማን፣ ሱፐርማን፣ ወንደር ውመን ምናምን እያሉ የፈረንጆች ጀግና ሲዘገዝጉ እሱ ደግሞ ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ ነው ትክክለኛ ጀግና ያለው ስሙ ደግሞ መኮንን ይባላል ብሎ ይህንን እንደዚህ ጥቅጥቅ ያለ 400 ፔጅ የሆኑ መጽሐፍ ጽፎ ይሄን ብቻ አይደለም እኮ ይሄ መኮንን ያሳለፈው ኑሮ ምን ይመስላል ሲባል እንደዚህ ጎራዴውን ይዞ ምናምን እንደዚህ ነው ብሎ ተጠቦ ኑሮውን ትቶ እዚህ መጥቶ ጥናት በማድረግ ይህ መጽሐፍ የጻፈ ሰው ነው። ዛሬ ከመጽሐፍ ጋር የተገናኘ አንዳንድ ነገሮች ያሳያችሁ ነው እዚህ የጋበዝ ነው። I hope you enjoy the video, guys. I'll leave you to it.
All right, hey guys, Jerome Matias here, writer, author, artist, coming from the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, and also coming from the US. So maybe some of you have an idea in your head, you want to be a writer, you want to be an author, maybe a poet. So, for me, I write historical fiction, and comic book style, also artwork. So basically, if you want to write a story, whether it's in English or Amharic or whatever language, you need to have an idea first, right? What do you want to write about? Do you want to write about yourself? Do you want to write about someone else? Do you want to write about someone in your family or your friend, or you just want to make up your own character? You want to make up a story. What do you want to write about? Who's your audience? And write about what you know and what you like, right? It's easier when you write about from your own experience and from what you are familiar with, or something that you're interested in. Maybe you don't know much about a topic, but you need to research and find out more about it, which is what I did for Mekonnen, because I did not grow up in the Ethiopian or Eritrean culture, but I heard about it for my whole life because they always talk about Ethiopia in the Caribbean, Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados. We always heard about Jamaica. We always heard about Ethiopia in songs, in the Bible, in the Rastafarians, but we only heard it from like a certain point of view. We didn't really hear it sometimes from the whole story, right? But we did know about Haile Selassie and Queen of Sheba, and we didn't even heard much about Aksum, but I decided to set my story in medieval times when the empire was really large, and I just wanted something that was different, and I wanted to tell a story of showing Africa or Africans in a different positive light rather than the negative view that we saw in the news or in the media or in entertainment. Most of the time we saw the negative part of Africa or African history, like the slaves, the slavery. So were Africans only slaves? Were they slaves before they were slaves, or what were they before they were slaves? They were kings and warriors and artists and priests, and they were all of that. Just like in Europe and Asia, they were just the same. And then you have also what you want to. So in that case, my story. I wanted to show something. Make a statement that was positive, that was different, So you have to decide what you want to do. You want to do something that is the typical that everyone already knows, or you want to, which is okay, because you may even draw an audience that way. But people may be fed up of seeing the same thing over and over. They may be fed up of seeing, slaves and jungles and loincloths and stuff. Maybe they want to see some, regalia, and they want to see some palaces. Africa has palaces, and castles, and kings, queens, currency. In ancient times, in fact, Ethiopia was one of the first countries to actually make coins. One of the first African countries to make coins. One of the first or only African countries to have their own alphabet. So all of these things, and I wanted to bring these things, these ideas and concepts to the West, to America, to the Caribbean, that they were not aware of, right? So writing. First, you have maybe an idea, right? Maybe you have an idea or a concept, right? Concept, a story, right? Well, like what you want to say, right? And maybe you want to think of the setting of the story. The setting. Where does it take place? Does it take place in your neighborhood? Does it take place in your country? Does it take place in another country? Does it take place in space? You got science fiction. Does it take place underwater, like the movie The Abyss, or Jaws? Does it take place in a house, a haunted house? Where does it take place? What kind of people are in it? Is it people from your own country or your own village? Is it people from another country, like what I did and research from another country? But it influenced Ethiopia influenced my country because we also heard about it in songs and books and everything. So think of the setting, the background, and then you just take notes. What I mean by summary, like you're going to just write down like a breakdown of what the whole story is. Like for instance, in the back of my book, I kind of summarized what my book is about. So I'll just read a little bit, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. So I have here, as the armies of light clash with the mysteries of darkness, the kingdoms of earth are caught in the midst, and in the midst, and the fate of all creation hangs in the balance. So you see, I have like a broad scope. There's like a big old cosmic, war that was going on in the universe, before time as you know it, or something like that. And then I come down, I kind of break it down to more to the surface, the earth level. I have here Mekonnen, a young warrior from the great kingdom of Aksum in the 6th century AD, becomes caught up in the midst of this ancient conflict between good and evil. His life is changed forever when his kingdom is attacked by malevolent, which means bad guys, malevolent agents of darkness called the Dark Catalian, led by a powerful sorcerer they called Lord Silver Gauntlet, who performed black magic to release these dark creatures and to resurrect Wainaba, the Serpent King, who terrorized the kingdom about 1,500 years earlier. So you see, I kind of set up what the story is about, the backdrop, what happened, what's causing it, what's going to cause the good guys or bad guys to have to fight the protagonist and the antagonist. Protagonist is the good guys, antagonist is the bad guys. Right? So I just kind of break it down, right? And then I have accompanied by an eccentric holy man, Abba Shilo, the Bahatari, that's like a monk, forming uneasy alliances with people of various languages and tribes, and with occasional intervention from powerful Melek, that's angels, from the celestial realms of Samayat, that's heaven, right? Mekonnen embarks on an adventurous quest to vanquish the kingdom of evil forces. He must venture into gleaming cities, restless towns, perilous forests, treacherous waters, over rugged mountains, enter sacred monasteries and hidden realms to acquire the parts of the armor of Exebier, armor of God, in order to battle with and defeat the deadly Dark Catalian, or the Dark Assassins, Wainaba, and other vile creatures of the abyss. So you see, so I kind of set up, so you just kind of write this down in your own notebook. You don't have to show anyone, but this kind of breaks it down as to what the whole story is about. And then you want to break down after that you want to break down maybe each chapter, or even if it's not each chapter, at least each section of the book, because every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So kind of break down what you want the first part of the story or what the adventure to say, and then what you want the middle, the climax where the action takes place, what you want the middle to be like, and then how you want it to end, right? So you have the beginning. Not sure if you can see all the way down here. The beginning, middle, and cool. So yeah, and then from there you break it down, and then you sit now and you write out the details of each scene. Like you break that, you sit down and you may just brainstorm, or you may just So sometimes for me when I'm like writing, sometimes I like already know what I want the characters to say or to do, but while I'm writing, sometimes new ideas may come, or sometimes I might take out some stuff that maybe too much or revealing too much about the story. Just kind of write out what comes to your mind. Then you go back and you review it and you edit it, or have someone else review and edit for you. Whether it's a friend or a professional. For a professional editor or reviewer, you may need to pay someone, or you can get a friend or maybe someone in college or university who may be looking for some credit. Maybe you can get them to do it for you for free, and they'll get credit. So yeah, this is anything I'm forgetting. So this is the writing process, and also then you wrap it up. The edit, you need to review and edit after when you're done. Like you read it yourself. Edit as in correcting the mistakes or maybe some misspellings. Now most, like Microsoft has a thing where it can correct some of your spelling automatically, or it'll make suggestions. But be careful, because maybe you may have a word that's not recognized in Microsoft as it may not be an English word. Like I have words like Catalan, and I have words like Melak and stuff. So I had to tell the software, well, don't correct these. This is how I wanted to spell, right? So and as you notice, I'm an English speaker, and I wrote this book mostly in English, but I also included Ethiopian words. I included words from Ge'ez, Amharic, even Oromo and Agao. I included other words.
Can you tell us a few from those words? How many? Can you tell us 3 Amharic words that are included?
I have Melak, which is angel in English.
One.
I have words like Katalian, which is Ge'ez word for a killer or an assassin. I have what other words? I have Samayat, which is heaven in English, right?
What about the Ormifa words?
Ormifa words, let me see. I have Abba, which is the father or dad, right? And
okay.
Yeah.
Right. So anything else?
Review in a text. Well, of course, I haven't gotten to the publishing part of it. Publishing is another step. When you're done, you finish your story, you have it edited, and you have it proofread, whether you pay someone or not. And then you have to, depending on who I self-published. I self-published my book on Amazon.com. Self-publishing means you didn't go with a publishing house, because you may have to pay a publishing house some money for them to do the publishing and the printing and all that stuff. What I did, I saved my file as a PDF and you upload it to Amazon.com, and then it tells you whether the file is okay or not, and whether you need to go back and make corrections. And so I uploaded the file, and it gives you the steps on how to do it. You have to open of course, an Amazon account, and then you select a release date, and on that day it's going to be live on Amazon, and you can self-promote yourself on Facebook or social media, or you can this is the pros and cons with whether it's self-publishing or not. When you're self-publishing, you have to do your own marketing and your own promoting, and but when you go with a publishing house, a publishing company, they would do the marketing and promoting for you, but for a fee, right? And then whatever sales are made, like say for instance, my book is like $20 US on Amazon, I get like 70% of that, and Amazon keeps 30%, right? So same thing if you go with a publishing house, they may take a percentage of each sale, and then you get the rest, whether it's 80% or 70%. It's different for each company. So yeah, thank you. I'm glad to share with you guys, and see you later. Take care. Bye.